Oh, hello there. As you can see, autumn is definitely here. Welcome to another live stream. Yes, it is English Addict coming your way. And look at all the beautiful autumn colours that are literally everywhere at the moment. We are having such a lovely time. As I said, I hope you will stay with me for the next 2 hours because it is Sunday afternoon and it's just after 2 o'clock UK time, and this is English Addict. It sure is. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope you are feeling as happy as can be today. Yes, we are back together live across YouTube, 100% live. This is live, and I have a feeling that you are watching me live right now because you are there in front of your computer device, your mobile phone, or maybe your desktop, or perhaps you are driving along in the car listening to my soothing voice. Hello, are you okay? Today we are going to talk about lots of things. We have Mr. Steve here, we have you, we have the live chat. We have so many things to do today. I hope you are feeling good. As you may have noticed at the start of the live stream, you saw some of the lovely views. It is so nice today. We are having the most amazing weather. It is a beautiful sunny, although it is also chilly. A chilly, sunny, autumnal day. It's looking rather nice. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Mr. Duncan. I talk about the English language. I love English very much. You might actually say that I am a bit of an English addict. For those who like to follow the captions, by the way, don't forget there are also live captions on the screen. If you activate the captions, you will be able to see everything I'm saying, every word that comes out of my cake hole. I love that phrase, cake hole. A person's cake hole is their mouth. That's what it is. I don't know what's happening to my throat because Mr. Steve last week was ill. And I'm just wondering if I've actually caught Mr. Steve's cold because he was ill last weekend and I've been suffering with Mr. Steve. Suffering. There is nothing worse than being with a person who is unwell. I'm sure if you are a husband or wife, and if your partner becomes ill, maybe they get a cold or something else, sometimes it is hard to look after your loved one when they are feeling sick, especially if it's a man. I think this is something Steve said last week. He said that men suffer much worse when they become ill, much worse than women. I'm not sure how true that is, to be honest. Just before I started today's live stream, I received a little package. Came right through my door, my little letterbox. However, at the moment, I don't know if you do the same thing as me. I am really wary. I'm suspicious or worried about handling the mail. So whenever I pick up my mail or maybe collect a parcel from the doorstep, I always put on one of my rubber gloves, just in case, you see. So even though we have a little bit more freedom here in the UK, I am still quite wary, quite nervous about picking things up that have been delivered by someone I don't know. So there it is. That is something I received a few moments ago. It was pushed through my letterbox. It is a new screen protector for my new phone. So I had to order that, and it came just a few moments ago. However, I always feel a little worried. I don't know why. I've always been slightly nervous about germs and picking up germs. But at the moment, I seem worse than ever. So do you do this? Am I becoming extreme? Am I turning into a germaphobe? I wonder if I am. But there it is. There is proof that whenever I collect a letter or something that has been delivered to my door, I always put on a rubber glove to pick it up. It's true. And now you have the proof. So I hope you're having a good day here today. I'm not too bad, thank you very much. I can't complain, although I've had quite a busy week preparing some new lessons. Oh, Mr. Duncan, we heard you mention this last week, last Wednesday. You mentioned this on your live stream. Yes, there are some new lessons coming. I have been so busy writing, producing, filming, editing, everything. A lot of people think I have other people helping me do this. Can I just say I do all of this on my own? For 15 years I've been doing this, and I've been doing this all by myself. No one else helps me. Sometimes Mr. Steve helps, but to be honest with you, it isn't really help. Oh, we have the live chat. Hello to the live chat. Nice to see you here today. I hope you are feeling good. We are getting quite a few comments about my strange habit. I wear a rubber glove when I pick up my letters and my mail. Is that weird? Have I gone too far? Have I become too extreme with my sanitizing? I wonder. Hello to the live chat. I wonder who was first here today. Oh, very interesting. Hello to Beatrice. Hello, Beatrice. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. I can take this off now. Can I take my rubber glove off? Because it's a little bit hot and sweaty here in the studio. I might keep it on for a bit longer because we do have Mr. Steve coming, and I'm sure Mr. Steve has given me his cold from last weekend. Did you see last weekend? Did you see last Sunday? I don't know what happened to Steve, but he suddenly disappeared. Did you see that? He vanished during my live stream. I'm not sure if I said something to upset him, but I will try my best not to do it today. I will try my best not to make Mr. Steve angry. Oh, today's topic being angry, getting angry. Do you sometimes get angry at something or someone? Perhaps you become angry about something. Sometimes you can become angry. You can become enraged. Your anger can build and then suddenly you will blow your top. You will lose your temper. So we are talking about that today. I'm trying to work out what happened last week. I'm still trying to work out what happened. So well done, Beatrice. You are first on today's live chat. We also have Christina. You are in second place today. Also, we have Tomek. Hello, Tomek. Nice to see you here so early. Very nice. Valentin. We also have Palmyra. Bella. Hello, Bella. I don't know why, but I feel as if it's been a long time since I've seen you here. I don't know why, but it feels like it. Maybe it's just an illusion. Hello also to Sandra Gonzalez. We also have Claudia. Hello, Claudia. Can I say thank you very much for your photograph, by the way? Claudia sent a lovely photograph of a beautiful tree growing outside. I think it's outside the place where you work. Would you like to have a look at Claudia's lovely picture? There it is. A beautiful purple tree. I love the flowers, by the way, on this tree. It is called a jacaranda. A jacaranda. I hope I pronounced that right. But it has the most gorgeous, beautiful purple flowers. And if you look carefully, if you look closely at the photograph, you can see that many of the petals from the flowers or from the blossom has actually fallen to the ground. So there are so many flowers on that tree that you can see that there is also purple on the road as well. I don't know whose car that is. Is that your car? Or is it somebody else's? So there it is, a beautiful jacaranda. Is that right? Have I pronounced that? Jacaranda. I have to be honest with you, I've never heard of that tree before. I think Mr. Steve may have, but I've never heard of it. But it's beautiful. So thank you, Claudia, for your lovely photograph. Very nice. Thank you very much for sending that in. And of course, I always welcome your emails, your messages, anything you want to send. You are more than welcome to do so. It's not a problem. So today we are talking about expressing anger. That is something we are talking about a little bit later on with Mr. Steve when he arrives. We are having the most beautiful day. Look at that. So there is another view out of the window. I couldn't resist showing you another view outside. Hello to Autumn Smartphone. Which country is that? Well, this is England. I'm now coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language. And there it is, right outside my window at the moment. That is the view that I'm looking at as I wake up in the morning every morning. I often see this view, but at the moment it is looking rather nice. It really does look as if autumn is definitely in the air. Very nice. So what do you think? Is it normal for me to go to my letterbox and whenever I take my mail or a package or a parcel, I often wear a rubber glove to protect my hand, just in case, you see? So that's what happened this morning. So this came through my letterbox, and already a lot of people are saying, Mr. Duncan, you should also sanitize the parcel as well. So maybe I should spray some sanitizer, something to clean the package. So not only my hand, but also the package as well. So maybe that is a good point. I actually agree with you, to be honest. I think that is actually a very good point. Hello also to Rakis, also to Bahram. Hello to you. William is here as well. Nice to see you back also today. On this glorious day, we are having the most amazing weather. I don't know what we've done to deserve such glorious weather, but it is a very nice day today. So we are talking about anger. When you feel a little angry about something, maybe something that makes you angry, maybe something that you find annoying. So quite often, it is possible for a person to stay calm and not lose their temper. They don't become angry. However, if something happens for a long period of time, you might find that the anger will grow inside you. We often say that we can feel the anger growing inside. We can feel the anger overwhelming our other emotions. So anger is something that can come on quickly or it can come on slowly. You can feel yourself slowly becoming angry about something. I think that's what happened last week. I think so. I think last week Mr. Steve was feeling unwell, and also I think he got a little bit angry last week because he disappeared during the live stream. We will find out all about that a little bit later on. Hello also to Monisa. Nice to see you here as well. We have our regular fast finger champion, Vitas. Hello, Vitas. Nice to see you back. Of course, today we had Beatrice in first place. Congratulations to you again. Zudzika say, Mr. Duncan, you might be a germaphobe because you are wearing rubber gloves. Well, only one glove. So this is the glove that I will use to handle the package. Although Zudzika says maybe you will have to burn the delivery as well. I'm not sure if I should do that because you don't know what's in the package. So perhaps I could receive a package and then I set fire to it because I'm so afraid of touching it. But then Mr. Steve might become angry because perhaps it is a delivery for him. So I have to be very careful. No, I don't think I'm going to start setting fire to my packages. I will just handle them carefully. As you can see, I handle this package carefully. I am being careful with this package because I don't want to get any germs, you see, even though I have a feeling that I already have some germs from you-know-who. I think I may have caught his cold. Nice to see so many people here on the live chat. Christina says, I received a package recently from China, but before opening it, I sanitized the whole package. Well, yes, maybe. Maybe that's a good idea. Especially if you don't know who is sending it, you see. Or maybe the person who is delivering it to your door. So a lot of people are still quite careful or cautious. I like that word. A person who is cautious. If you are cautious, it means you often take care when you are doing things. Maybe you will be careful when you walk up the stairs. You take one step at a time. You walk up the stairs cautiously. you are being cautious. And I am being cautious with my packages. When they come through the door, I don't know where they've come from, and I don't know who has handled the package. So I always like to handle them with care. I always like to be cautious. A lot of people these days have become cautious. I think so. Hello to Marwa. It's nice to see you here today. Thank you for joining me as well. Hello to Okko. Hello, I am here for the first time. Hello, Okko. Welcome to my live stream. I hope you will feel comfortable and happy. One of the things we love doing here is welcoming our new viewers. So welcome, Okko, and I hope you will have a nice time here today. Stefano is here. Hello also. Where is Lewis? I haven't seen Lewis. Has anyone seen Lewis? Hello, Max. Hello, Mega. Mr. Duncan, my brother is very annoying. My brother, who is 25 years old, is very annoying. He drives me crazy. I always have to control my anger. If you are with a person who is annoying, you have to control your anger. You have to stay calm. You have to keep your cool. Hello, Vitas. Vitas is quoting Voltaire. It isn't very often we quote Voltaire. Think for yourselves and let others enjoy the privilege to do so. I like that one. That's a good one. A very good one. Very witty. There's one thing that Voltaire was very good at. He had a very sharp wit. And a very generous tipper as well, apparently. Hello, Saturino. Mr. Duncan, I think many people are germophobic without any reason. How many people have touched the bread that you buy and eat? Well, that is a bit scary. If I was honest with you, that is slightly scary. Yes, I suppose so. One of the things I used to be a little bit afraid of, not anymore, but I used to be, was handling money. Other people's money, because many years ago I used to work in retail, and sometimes I would become a little uncomfortable if a person gave me some money as they were paying for their goods, because the person looked as if maybe their hygiene was not very good. So sometimes I would panic slightly, or I would worry when I handle another person's money when they are paying for something. So I would take a person's money as they paid for their goods. And sometimes I didn't like doing that because I used to think, maybe that person just went to the toilet for a poop and perhaps they didn't wipe properly, or maybe they didn't wash their hands afterwards. So I used to always worry about that when I used to take people's money off them. I would take their payments when I was working in retail, many, many years ago, by the way. We have Steve coming in about 3 minutes. Very nice. Christina says, I think controlling your anger can often cause health problems. I think so. One of the problems with anger is becoming angry can be bad for you because your blood pressure will rise and and sometimes it will feel as if your head is going to explode because of the blood pressure going through your brain. But I also think that holding your anger inside can be just as bad, because you have to control your emotions. You have to keep everything inside. So maybe not becoming angry can be just as bad as becoming angry. Maybe those two things are just as bad. So what about you? What makes you angry? We are going to talk about that today with Mr. Steve. Steve will be with us in a few moments and we will be chatting about that. Also, Mr. Steve has been in the garden doing some trimming as well. We will find out about that in a few moments. Also, I wonder where Luis Mendez is. I haven't seen Luis. Luis Mendez, I think, oh, wait there a moment. Wait a moment. Luis, see, this gives you an example of how well my brain works. Luis wrote to me during the week and said he wouldn't be here. I've just remembered. He did. He wrote to me during the week and said, Mr. Duncan, I won't be here on Sunday, so don't worry, don't panic, everything's all right. Lewis isn't here because he's doing something else today. Fernando, hello Fernando, nice to see you here. I get angry when women pay no attention to me. Or if they don't even speak to me. Fernando, I don't know what to say to that. I don't have any quick fix for that problem, I'm afraid. I don't know. Very nice. Marcia is here. Hello, Marcia. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Hello, Marcia again. We are going to take a break for a few moments and then we will be back. Mr. Steve is on his way. Yes, we have Mr. Steve coming in around about 6 minutes from now. I hope he is in a good mood. I hope he is feeling better because he's not been very well during this week. So hold on. We will be live once more in around about 6 minutes. In the meantime, we are going to enjoy one of my full English lessons. Here is an excerpt where I talk all about feeling angry and outraged. Do you ever find yourself feeling outraged by something you have seen or heard? When this happens, a person might say that they feel outraged by it. The emotion they feel is outrage. The thing they feel outraged by is outrageous. These days, people seem to become outraged by many things. Trivial moments of time are blown out of proportion by generating outrage among people. Did you hear the outrageous comment that politician made yesterday? It's an outrage. Mr. Duncan is talking about outrage, which I think is outrageous. The word outrage refers to the feeling of anger caused by something that appears offensive, rude, unfair, or upsetting. You feel outraged.
Dear Mr. Duncan, was it really necessary for you to start your lesson off by shouting loudly? As it made me fall off the toilet and hit my head on the wash basin. Yes, that's right. I watch you whilst sitting on the toilet. I find it helps to move things along a bit. Please don't do it again. Yours, annoyed and slightly injured, Mr. Lomax.
We live in an age where trends and fashions come and go at a very fast pace. Today's new fad very quickly ends up being yesterday's done thing. Something new soon becomes old hat and stale. This seems to happen more and more these days, whether it's music trends or fashion ideas or the latest piece of high tech, such as an updated mobile phone or computer console. Like the tide, the trends come in and go out. A short-lived fashion can be described as being a flash in the pan. This expression clearly shows the existence of something that became immensely popular, albeit for a short time. It was just a flash in the pan. It was short-lived. In a figurative sense, it is here today and gone tomorrow. Breakfast time, my favourite time of the day.
Here we go again. Another breakfast with Mr. Slurpee. I really want to tell him how annoying his noisy eating is. And look at that porridge. That's not how you make porridge. What on earth is he wearing there? A Wolverine t-shirt, for goodness sake. Grow up, man. You are 50 years old. I really want to tell him how annoying he is, but it will only hurt his feelings. Look at him, filling his smug face with milky porridge. And he never stops going on about English.
Is there a problem?
Mr. Duncan, for crying out loud, do you have to eat your porridge like that? It's so annoying. And that's not even how you make porridge. It's too weak. You always add too much milk. And what's with the t-shirt? It's a comic book character. You are not a child anymore. For goodness sake, grow up. You are 50 years old. Start acting like an adult. You are so immature and childish. It's not just one thing. It's everything about you. And another thing, you never stop talking about English. All day you go on and on about English this and English that. I really can't take it anymore.
You want to hurt me? Go right ahead if it makes you feel any better. I'm an easy target. Yeah, you're right. I talk too much. I also listen too much. I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you, but I don't like to hurt people's feelings. Well, you think what you like about me. I'm not changing. I like me. My viewers like me. My students like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get. Acting. That Mr. Lomax is always picking on me. I can't believe it. Why does Mr. Lomax always pick on me? Why? I don't know why. I don't have any bad habits, do I? Do I? That is one of many of my English lessons. And yes, there will be some new ones coming soon as well.
Hello.
Here he is, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Now, you've got to be very delicate with me today, Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
Yes, as you know, I've been suffering with a cold all week, and it hasn't got any better.
No, poor Mr. Steve.
No, in the UK, people are getting this very bad cold that's lasting several weeks, and they're calling it a super cold.
Oh, I see. So it's not
super cold.
Not COVID.
No, but my voice has gone very low because of it's gone onto my larynx. My larynx, my voice box.
Shall I show the larynx? The larynx is here.
That bit.
There is the larynx.
Or voice box.
And up here, normally, is the brain. Normally.
Mr. Duncan, you don't want to annoy me. You know what happens when I get annoyed and angry?
Yes, I know. You sulk.
I turn into the Hulk.
Yes. What happened last week? Poor Steve last week was not feeling very well.
No.
And you had to leave, didn't you? You went off suddenly.
I went off suddenly and didn't return.
I can't remember what happened now.
No, I don't want to remember, Mr. Duncan.
Shall we replay?
No. Yes, people are saying my voice is different. That's because I've got a cold. Unfortunately, that sometimes, whenever I get a cold, very annoyingly, it always goes onto my voice, which is annoying because, as you know, I do lots of singing and it stops me from doing it.
Yes, much to my relief.
Well, what do you think? Does it sound sexier, my low voice, my cold infected voice?
I'm not sure if it sounds... From where I'm sitting or standing, it doesn't sound any different.
Oh, right. Well, people are saying it is. Maybe I'm putting it on. I don't know.
My only worry now is that Mr. Steve doesn't give it to me. I don't want your stinky lurgy.
I think you would have had it by now.
Although it's strange, isn't it? Because we are still worried about coronavirus, not only here but also around the world. Places such as Austria, where they've gone back to lockdown. If you haven't had your vaccine in Austria, you have to stay indoors. I don't know how they know. How do they know that you haven't had it?
Well,
do they
presumably...
I'm just wondering if they put a giant X on your head if you have it.
Well, presumably they have vaccine passports, and thus they can probably stop you. Show us your passport.
Ooh, okay, Steve.
And then, you know, people are noticing that I've got a red pen. I have. I've also got a black pen.
Yes.
So you've got to notice when I swap them.
He also has a red nose.
A red nose, yes. That's because Mr. Duncan punched me.
What?
On it.
What a strange thing to say.
No, I'm joking, of course. We don't want any controversy today, but because I need to stay calm and in a sort of a calm zone where I'm tranquil, just peaceful and tranquil, Mr. Duncan. Even though the subject today is anger, which isn't really going to help my condition.
Well, I will try not to make you angry. They're only words, don't forget. Only words. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. Unless, of course, you write that word on a house brick and then hit me over the head with it, in which case words can be very painful.
Well, of course, that is a phrase that our parents taught us when we were young.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it were true, because people's words do hurt you deeply. And they make you angry sometimes. But it's true, though. It's very difficult. If somebody calls you a nasty name or says something unpleasant to you, it does hurt you. I'm sorry, that phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me, is rubbish. It's about the worst thing anybody ever taught you. They should say words do hurt you and you need to get your own back. Get revenge.
See, I think you're too sensitive, Steve. All the things that I've been called in my life, lazy, stupid, retarded, abnormal. Parents can be so cruel sometimes.
Yes, Mosen. Oh, look at Mosen there, showing his knowledge of singing. Mr. Steve's voice is baritone when he sings. Yes, because normally I'm a tenor. But of course, when you get which is a high voice for a man, but when you get a cold, you go down into the baritone, maybe into the bass. I can't get down that low.
So when Mr. Steve sings at the moment, he sounds like Burl Ives.
It's so low, the frequency is so low that everything vibrates in the room.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Mr. Duncan, yes.
Yes.
People are talking about vaccines, but we won't get into that. Yes, anger. Saturino was mentioning about seeing you with that blue glove on. Oh, you've still got it on.
I've still got it on. Well, I am with you. See, Steve has still got whatever it is, whatever disease or illness or bug or virus that Steve has. I have to be careful. I'm not touching Mr. Steve unless I have my rubber glove.
What have you been touching with that rubber glove, Mr. Duncan?
Well, I had my package.
Ooh, yes.
A little package came this morning. I have a little package.
Are you going to open it live?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to sanitize it first.
But the trouble is, Mr. Duncan, you have put that glove on, and now you've kept the glove on, so you're handling all bits of equipment here and contaminating whatever's passed from that package onto that glove is now contaminating everything around you.
I'm not using this hand to operate the equipment. This hand I will
too
not...
close to me, Mr. Duncan.
I'm not going to touch anything with this hand.
See, what I do when packages come through the post that I suspect, could be covered in germs,
Yes.
is I take the package, I open the package, tip out the contents without touching it,
Okay.
get rid of the package, then wash my hands, and then I can open what's inside, because I'm hoping that what's inside won't be contaminated, because the people at Amazon, let's face it, that's the only place I shop,
Yes.
will have been wearing gloves when they put it into the packet.
Yes.
So yes, I've got a system, but as Saturino says, you can become a bit of a germaphobe. And I think we've all become a little bit of a germaphobe
Yes.
over the last 2 years. I mean, at the start of the pandemic, people were going shopping and they were, whatever they'd bought in the shops, they were washing, sterilising the outside of all the packets of everything they purchased. Food, every single thing.
Yes.
Which I'm not sure that people are still doing that, but as Saturino says, when you buy bread, somebody's handled that bread, and then you cut it up and you eat it, etc., etc. You cannot escape germs.
No.
It's impossible.
That's it. There is a great expression that my English teacher many years ago taught me. We all eat a peck of muck before we die. And I love that expression. Have you ever heard of that expression?
No.
We all eat a peck of muck before we die. And a peck, of course, is a small measure, like a pinch. So, of course, there is a tongue twister. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck is a small measurement. So my English teacher, Miss Ryder, taught me I always remember it. We all eat a peck of muck before we die. That means everywhere we go, there is always something that's dirty, or maybe some germs, or something that's covered in filth or muck.
Well, it's good for you.
Yes.
I mean, children playing in the dirt, it's good because those germs are boosting your immune system. And I think those natural bacteria, they need to get into your gut. So that, because, something like 90% of your feces is bacteria, isn't it?
Feces. You mean poop?
Yes.
We can't get through a live stream without saying poop.
It's all churning away and growing away in there, and we have to have it. It's healthy.
Yeah. So sometimes being clean or too clean can be a bad thing, because you do need sometimes to catch viruses and to get bugs just to keep your immune system going. We don't need to really talk much about that, because over the past couple of years, It's basically all we've been hearing about.
Yes, Zudica, yes, Duncan's blue gloves are now contaminated. He needs to take them off.
Yes.
Yes,
moment.
I quite like this deep. I quite like my voice being like this, Mr. Duncan.
I might keep this glove on because I might have to make some examinations.
That's disgraceful, Mr. Duncan. You are not trained in such things.
Still, I will try. I'll give it a go. I will give it my best shot.
Yes, so yes, we have read about the riots in the Netherlands.
Yes, they've been getting very angry there about, well, all sorts of things.
Have you been getting involved, is what I want to know, Tomek.
Yes. Have you been there throwing daffodils and tulips around?
Not sure that you're even in the Netherlands, but that, of course, is where you come from, so you've told us.
Anyway,
we don't know anything about you, really, or about anyone, really.
It's not Amsterdam, it's Rotterdam, by the way. Rotterdam is where
Netherlands.
Yes, but
Yeah.
Rotterdam is the actual place, not Amsterdam.
Well, I know I said Netherlands.
No, I wasn't correcting
Oh,
you.
right, okay, right, okay. Right,
What?
that's it. I'm off. You've annoyed me, Mr. Duncan. I'm going.
I
I'm
see.
joking. I'm angry. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's all a joke. Everything's a joke. And stay calm.
Are you
Calm.
okay?
Yes, I
Right,
must stay
Steve.
calm. I must stay calm till the virus can
Steve.
I can overcome it.
Steve, we've actually got more than 100 people watching. Please, please, please don't scare them away. Please. We've had a nice day today. We've had lovely weather, even though it's freezing. I have to be honest. Mr. Steve last night lit the fire, and it was lovely. It was so lovely and warm. There is something amazing about a real fire when you're having a lovely little log burner or a coal fire in your house. There's something. I know it's not environmentally friendly. I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan. You're very naughty, but I think it's lovely. There's nothing nicer than having a real fire burning.
Yeah, now and then. Now and then.
Not always.
Not always, yes. Yes,
Because-
you would think people in the Netherlands would be more relaxed, says Bogdan.
Well, I'm surprised.
Yeah. Well, you see, they are. I think they generally are. So they must be really annoyed about something. Well, we know why they're annoyed, of course.
I've always thought the Dutch were probably the most laid back and relaxed people on the planet. So it does seem strange to see people in the Netherlands getting angry and throwing Molotov cocktails everywhere.
I don't think we've ever seen that on the television before. I mean, we have riots in this country, you know, unrest. You have it in America, France. You have it a lot in there, but we don't think we've ever seen unrest and street protest in the Netherlands before on the television. So it must be quite a significant event.
It does seem strange. It does seem rather. We had some really bad riots. So I'm not just pointing the finger at other people. We've had riots.
That's what I said. Yeah.
We've had riots in this country.
Oh, yes.
The most serious. What? The most serious one was in. I think the last time we had a big riot in this country, Steve, was 2011. Do you remember the riots of 2011? Oh my God, it was terrible. Lots of places around the UK, people were getting really angry and burning buildings down, and people's businesses were on fire, and it was terrible. But that was the last time we had any big riots here in the UK. We have lots of demonstrations and protests, but no riots, fortunately, for now.
No, exactly, because we're quite compliant in this country. Compliant, that means we tend to do as we are told. So if people tell us to have a vaccine in the UK, generally we will, whereas in other countries they probably won't. So there tends to be very little protest against things like that. You know, people tend to riot in this country for different reasons, social inequality, that sort of thing. Is what causes lots of riots here.
Riots is violence, so protests normally are peaceful. However, they can become violent. But we have had lots of protests. I suppose one of the most common one has been against Brexit and also environmental issues as well. Two big hot topics here in the UK and also around the world. But a very interesting time to be alive.
It is. I mean, they're having similar protests in Australia as well for the same reason.
Well, I think
lockdowns and restrictions, people are sick to death of it.
Let's face it, Australians can be quite hot-headed.
But I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw riots in Australia. It's not the sort of country that you tend to see riots in, is it?
It normally happens after they run out of lager.
That would definitely cause one, I think. But But yes, it's interesting. Saturino says, have you ever worked in a bakery? Yes, exactly. The cooks take the bread out of the oven, they handle it, and then it's handled when it goes onto the shelves in the shops, and then when it comes off the shelves, they handle it again. That is true. Bread gets a lot of fingering, doesn't it? A lot of fingers all over it. Contamination.
I know something else that used to get a lot of fingering.
Cut the crusts off or toast it, and then it will kill off the germs. Yes, I've often thought that when we go to the bakery. I've often seen, they're handling the bread, the people in the bakery, and I'm thinking, I've got to eat that later.
Yes.
They go, here's your bread, yes.
That's it. But, especially you, because can I just tell you something? We have the bakery back now in Much Wenlock. It's returned, it's reopened. Somebody else has opened it, but it's one of the same people there working in the baker's shop. However, Steve has this habit of talking to him, and he also likes to talk, the other guy. What's his name?
I'm not going to say his name. I don't think that's appropriate.
Can I just say
he has
the most amazing name.
Yes.
I'm not going to say his name, but it's a name that I've never met anyone with the name that the guy from our local baker shop has.
It's the same name as a very famous poet, I believe.
Okay.
From probably 100 years ago or more. I don't know. Begins with a B. See if you can guess if anyone that is good with poetry.
Why don't you just say it?
That'll be interesting. No, well, it's a quiz. I've started a quiz, Mr. Duncan.
It's not
famous poet. Name begins with B. A man.
It's not Shelley, but it's close. You see.
Well, it begins with B.
I know, but anyway. Okay, Steve.
So,
it's.
Yes. So yes, people. I think. Saturino, you're going to turn us all into germaphobes.
Well,
if you're not careful, talking about handling bread.
I think I might be a germaphobe already.
If I wasn't a germaphobe before, I probably will be now. But it's true, bread gets a lot of handling.
A lot of people asking what's in my package.
Not a lot.
It's just a screen protector for my new phone, so that's all that is. So now we know. I'm not going to open it because it's just too much hassle.
Do you know that I've always wanted to have a bakery?
Have you?
Yes.
Oh. After 30 years.
I've always thought if there's any business I'd like to own and run, it would be a bakery.
Oh, okay.
Because I just like wheat and bread and cakes.
Yeah.
The only thing that's ever put me off is the fact that you have to get up very early. And I'm not an early morning person.
That's true.
So I would love to sell bread to people, to sell cakes, sandwiches, baking bread. I just love all that. But you've got to get up very early if you're a baker. And I'm afraid that just isn't the life for me. There
are lots of jobs, by the way, that you have to get up very early in the morning for. Milkman or milk woman. You see, so not only delivering the milk, but also extracting the milk. Have you ever milked a cow?
No.
I've always wanted to milk a cow. I wonder what it feels like when you pull on its little teats. What happens? And I wonder if the cow enjoys it.
I don't know. There might be a little bit of pleasure there. I don't know. For the cow, might be a little bit. It might feel nice. I don't know.
Yes, well, you you never hear the cow complain.
Nashad says that they're very good at baking. Yes, it's a lovely thing to do.
Well, it's just
if you've got time. I used to bake all our bread when I was a child for my mother, because I was fascinated with it, how you knead all the dough and then you see it rising and then you put it in the oven and you've got this lovely bread, and you can experiment with different mixtures and putting different things in the bread.
Knead. That's a great word, by the way, but it's not spelt N-E-E-D.
Yes.
How do you spell it?
It's
K. N-E-A-D.
Just wondering whether you'd managed to figure that one out, Mr. Duncan.
I was suddenly aware that maybe Steve didn't know. I wasn't sure. No, I'm going to say you did know. You did.
Well, I got the yes. It begins with a K. So if you need something, it means you want it. N-E-E-D.
Yes.
I need to go to the toilet.
I need a poop.
Yes. You want something, or you must have it. Whereas needing, K-N, is like, like bread dough. Kneading it.
Yes.
Manipulating.
It's basically mixing something with your hands. So you knead the dough. K-N-E-A-D. Knead. Knead.
Yes.
There is a silent K.
There is. And I just used to love doing it. But it's time consuming. Yes, if you want to be a baker, you've got to get up very early in the morning, because all that bread has to be baked during the early hours of the morning. Or, well, maybe, I think they have to start about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, because they've got to bake all that bread, and it's got to be fresh, and it's got to be delivered to the shops. I know that the people that work in the bakery in Much Wenlock used to tell me they had to be at the bakers at the shop for 6 o'clock to receive the bread from where it was baked, which wasn't at the shop. It was in a different town. So they had to be there early, and they have to get it all ready for the shop to open at 8:30, 9 o'clock. So it's hard work being a baker.
Yes, I think so.
And in fact, there's a shortage of bakers in the UK, as there are a shortage of a lot of jobs in many different sectors at the moment, because people, since the pandemic, are thinking about different careers and what they want to do, and probably a lot of people who are bakers are thinking, well, I don't want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning anymore. I can find this lovely job and just sit at home on my computer all day.
They decide that they don't need the job.
N-E-E-D. Oh, that's a funny joke, yes. A pun, a play on words.
Very good.
Mr. Duncan.
Very nice.
Yes. Yes, Belarusia says that she will bake her bread. Well, I mean, if you were worried about germs on the outside of your bread, you could cut off the crusts, or you could put it in the toaster, and that would kill off the germs.
You could boil it in water. That would get rid of the germs. It would also get rid of the bread.
Yes. Have we got any bakers watching us?
Yes, any bakers, any butchers, any bakers, or any candlestick makers watching today. Oh, by the way, do you know which profession is coming back? You'll never guess.
A profession, what? It used to be around in the past and it's coming back.
In the olden days, in the 1970s.
In the olden days, let me think. Is it street sweepers?
Well, no, they still exist.
Well, they've got machines now, haven't they?
Yes.
Is it hangman?
Hangman? Well,
yes.
No.
Okay.
No,
executioners? No.
No, none of these things. No. You're
think of an old profession that could be coming back.
Think of things that used to be made, but they were liquid. So think of liquid things, and they would have to be contained in something.
Not like lemonade, no.
No, not the thing that they are contained in is the
barrels. Is it barrels?
Yes.
barrel making for beer, maybe.
Apparently barrel making is making a comeback. A person who makes barrels is called a cooper.
Ah, right.
So apparently there are people now, young people, who are interested in taking up a career in making barrels. They want to become a cooper.
And that, of course, is a surname, fairly common surname in the UK, Cooper.
Yes, because lots of people used to be barrel makers.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And that is the thing about lots of surnames, certainly in the UK, that it refers to a profession that that family used to do.
Yes.
You know, hundreds of years ago or whatever.
Yes.
And Cooper is one of them.
That's it. So
Yes.
quite often family names will actually sort of refer to maybe a job or a profession that their relatives did many years ago. Cooper is a barrel maker. Baker.
Yeah, there's a common name.
Baker.
Baker, a common
Yeah.
British name. Obviously, in the past, their family used to bake bread.
My mother's mother, her maiden name was Baker. Yes, so there you go. Do you know that?
So yeah, that's right. So lots of. I wonder if this happens in other countries. It probably does.
It doesn't always.
We'd like to know.
It is very much. I think you'll find it originated here.
Tomek says that the police helicopters were hovering over his house until 1:30 in the morning.
Oh.
Obviously, you were the first suspect. Probably thought you were the ringleader of all the riots. But yes, interesting, in Rotterdam.
Huh?
So a bit of excitement, yes. Have you ever, so not since the 1980s, have there been riots in the Netherlands, according to Tomek? So that's a long time.
It's definitely been a long time. So they've probably got a lot of other things that they've been waiting to get off their chest. Maybe it's just everything that they've bottled up since the 1980s. That's a lot of things. We are talking about anger in a few moments. We have lots and lots of words and phrases to talk about. Also, I will be asking, what makes you angry? Is there a certain thing that makes you angry as well?
Well, I'm sure that, there was, wasn't the Great Fire of London started in a baker's shop?
It started in Baker Street.
Yes.
Yes. So
wasn't it in an actual baker's shop?
Yes. Well, actually, it didn't start in Baker Street. It started in Pudding Lane.
Right.
Yes. Wasn't it 1666? It's a very easy one to remember.
Was that the question on Bullseye?
Huh?
Could have been a question on Bullseye, couldn't it? We're learning such a lot from watching old episodes of Bullseye. I mean, you know, we really are learning a lot because we keep watching them and we're getting more and more of the questions right.
Yes. Even though no one out there knows what Bullseye is. But we are becoming more smart. We are becoming more intelligent because of it.
Yes, Christina, we are getting the third dose of the vaccine in the UK. In fact, I'm having mine on Monday.
I'm having my 8th dose. I just can't get enough of it. I've got holes. I've got so many holes in my arm now. You can actually see through it.
S760 is back here after a long time. So welcome back, S760.
Hello, S760.
Sorry, I can't pronounce your name, OKHO. My family thought about opening a bakery shop here in Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Well, if you do, and we're ever in Kazakhstan, I will be straight to your baker's shop. There's nothing nicer than freshly baking bread.
I feel that this live stream has become very much related to baking and making bread. Steve, Bogdan makes a very interesting point about anger.
Oh, right.
People tend to get angry if they feel their freedom of choice is taken away from them. But they don't care if by exercising their freedom they affect other people's freedoms in return. That is true, yes. So sometimes one person's idea of freedom might be another person's idea of repression. So sometimes it is. So one person wants to have the vaccine and they think that everyone should have it, whilst other people think that it should not be forced upon people. So yes, it is. I think really this also comes down to opinion as well. A lot of opinion is being expressed. And of course, when people go against your opinion, quite often you will become angry.
That's right. And I think people are probably less tolerant now. They're more on the edge, more ready to go straight to anger rather than, because of social media. And I think if you watch the news, somebody mentioned earlier about how the news really makes them angry.
My advice there is don't watch it.
I know. Well, I'd love to not watch the news, and there are lots of shows on where they debate issues and deliberately get people, and we're sitting there, aren't we, watching these sort of chat show programs where they're debating issues, and you get very angry about things, and it's very bad for your health, as people have pointed out.
Yes.
It's very bad for your health to have all this anger and stress over the long term. It causes problems.
Megar says, I get angry when I don't get my favourite food. Like today, I got food very late and also something I don't like to eat. I had to get something I don't like instead of the thing that I do like. Well, yes, I also become slightly angry. I tell you, I know I should not become angry about this, but sometimes when you order food from your supermarket and then they deliver it, but some of the things are not available. I don't know why. Sometimes that gets me quite angry, especially if it's my favourite food. That also gets me rather upset and angry.
Yes, it's. I think people do get angry very quickly, particularly on the roads. I see that a lot. Road rage. I mean, I've started road rage myself. You
started it.
Well,
it's your fault.
Well, I've overreacted to things. I think if you are on the edge about something and upset about something, and then you go out onto the roads and drive, it's quite a dangerous thing.
Yes.
Because you can very easily lose your temper in what is a very dangerous environment.
Here is my advice for life. So everyone, prepare to write this down. Never do anything whilst angry. Never do anything if you are feeling angry. That's it. Just hold back, sit down, take a deep breath.
That's the trouble, is it's easy to say that, but in practice, so when that event actually happens, that sort of old part of your brain takes over, and that ancient part of your brain that wants to fight, and it completely blocks out your frontal lobes, isn't it? They're the bits that the frontal part of your brain is the reasoning part.
Yes, you become irrational.
You become irrational, and it's very easy to do that. I've done that a lot. I'm not proud of it.
I'm much better. I'm a much more relaxed and calm person than Steve. Steve gets quite wound up by things, whereas I take a lot longer to get angry. I think so, but I can't remember the last time I really got angry about anything, to be honest. So it's a very long time, which is why I look so good, you see, because of my new healthy regime.
It's about time, Mr. Duncan.
It is about time. And now is the time.
So we're talking about anger, Mr. Duncan.
Well, we are talking about it right now. We have been, in fact.
Yes, it's bad. It's bad for your health to be constantly in a state of anger, frustration, because unless you can resolve that, resolve it, sort it out. Particularly if I hold grudges, Mr. Duncan.
Yes, this is true.
I hold a grudge.
Yes, I'm not sure if that's the same as anger.
No, but it creates anger in me because I think of past events where people have upset me, and I keep reliving that situation, and it causes stress, because I think if you relive a stressful situation, your mind thinks it's actually happening, and it generates all those stress hormones. And I think you can get, upset, but I do that quite a lot.
Yes.
It's a bit of a flaw of my character that, I'm going over and over things that have happened and changing the conversations and having arguments and, becoming quite deranged, in fact. I need to see a psychiatrist.
God, what
I
a
think
thing.
Sometimes.
What a
There we go. I've admitted it live on air to, all
my.
these millions of people watching.
What? I still can't quite believe that you just said that.
Well,
but
I'm sort of half joking.
I don't disagree with it.
Oh, right. Fear is the path to a dark side.
Oh dear.
Says Bogdan. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Master Yoga. said that.
Yoga.
Yoda. Master Yoda.
Who is Master Yoga?
Is that from Star Wars?
It is from Star Wars. Yes, well spotted.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Go on, you say it. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate.
Do you want to see something funny? Do you want to see something funny? You, there, watching us today, do you want to see something funny? Mr. Duncan, there was somebody that we were watching
Steve,
on the...
No one's going to understand what we're talking about.
I know, but it's funny.
Yes, but no one knows who the person is.
They don't know who he is, but I think you doing it will create laughter and hilarity to break up the feeling of anger that is building. There is a presenter on a show that we watch.
Okay.
And are you up for this?
Well, not particularly, but now
And,
you've opened the door now.
He's interviewing somebody, but while he's interviewing somebody, he suddenly he's not speaking, and when he's not speaking, he goes into this sort of, well, you do it. It's quite funny. So pretend you're interviewing me, and you just ask me a question. I'll say something, and then you can be the interviewer, and then you can see what this and it makes us laugh every time we watch it. So ask me something, Mr. Duncan.
This is such a build-up to me pulling a funny face.
Yes, well, it is funny. Ask me something. So you're interviewing me.
Well,
we're on a news channel.
Steve, I've got 47 words connected to anger.
Right, okay.
To
then.
talk about, but here's the guy.
Yes, well, Mr. Duncan, it's wonderful being on your channel. Let me tell you all about my life. Yes, well, of course, I was born in 1961. I lived in a loving family, and there was no problem whatsoever. My father was a baker, my mother was a prostitute, and we...
What? Sorry, can we just sample that?
No. But that's what he does. This interviewer, every time he interviews somebody... he sets the interviewee off talking, and then pulls this funny face. He does the nodding, because I think they're told if you nod a lot, people think you're engaged. So it's like an automatic thing that newsreaders do now, interviewers.
Well, it's just a polite way of acknowledging the person. So
Yes.
you might nod your head as you're listening to someone. However, this guy, his face completely changes.
Yes.
He goes.
He literally does that. And he's looking down at his notes, because he's obviously waiting for the next... He's obviously planning ahead what question he's going to ask next.
Yes. Anyway, Steve, this might be... I still can't believe what you just said about your mother.
I know, I was joking, though. That was... My mother, whatever I said, that is not true. And obviously, my father was not a baker.
No.
Because,
Although, to be honest with you, no one cares about that part.
will I give a Christmas concert? I would love to, Alessandra.
Yes. Please, Steve, go and give a...
Maybe I could. Maybe we could do that. Yes, we'll think about that. Haven't you got lots of words connected with anger, Mr. Dunn? People are laughing. Look at that. People are laughing at your funny face.
Oh, okay.
Can we say where we saw it? I think we can, can't we?
Well, as long as you want to admit to watching that particular channel.
Well, it's funny. Yes, it's GB News. It's a new news channel that we have here. And there's a certain person who pulls very funny faces when he's interviewing people.
Okay.
I don't think he's aware.
Yeah. The thing that we just showed you.
Yes.
And also GB News, which is rather right-wing. But we're not right-wing.
No.
It's not a good thing to admit to, by the way. It's rather like admitting to liking Sky News in the United States, or Fox News, as they call it there. We're not right-wing, honestly.
Yusra, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as being late. You're here. That's the important thing. Rosa says, it's a bit of an insult. I might get angry, Rosa. Elderly people, we would say, get exclusive free parking when they're 60 years or older.
Well, why is that an insult?
Well, because I'm 60 and I don't regard myself as elderly.
That's all right. You get
I'm going to get angry.
But you get free parking.
I know, I'm joking. But it's interesting that Rosa thinks that elderly is 60. No, I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking.
Well, if you get free things and you're over 60, don't complain. I would do that. I can't wait to be 60. I still have a little while to go before I reach 60, but yes, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of anyone that gets free stuff.
Well, I get free prescriptions.
That's it.
Not that I need them,
No.
being as healthy as I am.
Anyway, Steve, here's someone else who sometimes gets angry. Do you know who it is?
Is it Greta?
How dare you?
Yes,
thought it might be.
She gets very angry sometimes.
Well, interestingly enough,
Oh, I hope so.
you've never liked Greta, have you?
Whoa!
But recently,
Whoa! Wait, Steve! Whoa!
What?
That is quite a sweeping statement.
but it's true though.
I don't.
You're not a fan, but now you
Yeah.
are.
Steve, just let me please respond to that before they all go onto Twitter
Talk amongst yourselves.
and have me cancelled. I don't hate Greta Thunberg. I sometimes disagree with her whining and moaning, but I don't dislike her. However, recently I've started to agree with what she says a lot more, especially her comments after COP26. So that's it. So I don't. Can I just say, for the record, I don't hate.
I don't think I said hate.
Well, dislike. I don't dislike
I don't
her.
think I said hate. Hate's a strong word. Hate.
Yes,
Hate.
but I don't dislike her. I have no dislike. She's a lovely girl. I'm sure she's fun at parties and a wonderful human being. So,
I think you can express an opinion about somebody.
okay, Steve.
Uh,
You are so naive. It's 2021. Do you realise that your life can be cancelled? You can be disappeared, like in China.
Rosa, you see, is saying that she's 61, so getting free parking.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
good.
Yes, that'd be nice. Free parking.
Yes.
That would encourage people to go back into the towns
Yes.
and shop, because the shops in the towns are dying in the UK.
Yes.
Because nobody wants to go there anymore, because they have to pay stupid parking tickets.
Well, also the fact that there's this thing called the internet as well, where you can buy stuff without having to get off your arse. So that's quite useful.
Zeke is getting angry because we're talking too quickly. And
You are.
Yes, I need to slow down.
Yes. You can
We don't
always.
want to make people angry.
Well, no, you don't, Steve. Don't do that.
What's that?
But
Yes.
you can. Oh my goodness! You can watch the captions. By the way, there are live captions, and there will be recorded captions later on as well under our faces, our handsome faces, and down there will be captions as well. Anger. We are talking about expressing anger. When you express anger, we can say that you get angry. You become angry. So it is expressing the actual action, your action. You become angry. You can become annoyed. Annoyed. Something that annoys you. can make you feel annoyed. We can also have irritated, like Mr. Steve last week. Mr. Steve became quite irritated by me. I don't know why. I really don't know why.
It's not difficult, Mr. Duncan. It's not difficult.
Can you imagine living with me? Can you imagine having me in your life all the time?
I've had 30 years of it. Joking. I'm joking.
You can become cross with
Cross.
I like this word. It's an interesting word. You become cross. So your face might become serious. You might suddenly look angry. You feel angry. You are cross, furious. This expresses extreme anger.
Yes, we could rank your words in order of how angry you are or how upset you are, couldn't we? We could rank them,
Yes.
put them in order.
Yes. Well, we could.
We
But
could.
I don't think we are going to.
So furious would be
Well, I think furious is high up.
high up above anger.
Yes.
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 You're furious. You could do anything when you're furious. If someone is furious, then they could hit you, they could smash things. Well, they could do that if they were angry. But if you're angry, you're angry.
Yes.
But if you're furious, you're even more angry.
Yes. It's like a level of anger where your blood pressure will go up and maybe all of the little capillaries and blood vessels in your brain will explode.
Whereas irritated is below anger
Well,
in ranking, isn't
that's
it?
it.
You're irritated, something or annoyed. They would be lower down the scale.
Yes. Well, I've got these words all coming up, kind of. So irritate, you irritate a person. So I might as well mention it now. So to be irritated is slightly annoyed. So irritated, you can actually live with something that is irritating. However, quite often something irritating doesn't actually go away. It stays there. But it's annoying, but it doesn't really make you angry. It's just irritating.
Yes, it's like maybe the way somebody eats their food. Maybe you've been with that person a long time and they always eat their food in a certain way and it irritates you.
Yes.
Or they've got habits that irritate you, certain habits. And I'm sure that anybody who's lived with anybody for any period of time, those little habits become annoying,
Yes.
become irritating.
That's it.
But they don't necessarily make you angry.
No.
They just become irritating. Oh, that's annoying.
Here's another one.
I wish they wouldn't do that.
We've got to move on. Infuriated.
All
Again,
right, yes.
high up.
High up. Yes, that's
Yes.
level par with anger, I would
Yes.
say.
If you are
I'd
in-
take it was above anger.
Yes, it's probably around the same area. If you, I'm losing my flow now. If you are infuriated, it is quite often a reaction to something that's extreme. So you become infuriated. Maybe you are infuriated by something a person says, or maybe an event might leave you feeling infuriated.
I'm infuriated
Yes.
by the way my company is behaving at the moment.
Okay. I'm going to sample.
Is something that you could say.
Yes. But
My
not.
boss infuriates me.
Okay. But not necessarily Mr. Steve's boss or company. So
No.
just in case they're watching.
I mean, it could be one and the same, but we'll assume it isn't.
Okay. Enraged as well. So you go from calm to enraged. So it's very similar to infuriated. You are infuriated. You are enraged by something. I suppose really if you become enraged, you might actually take some sort of action against a person because you are losing control. You are becoming enraged.
What's that lovely? Do you remember the Incredible Hulk, Mr. Duncan? That famous program.
Lovely.
The Incredible Hulk.
The lovely Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk, where mild-mannered, what's his name? Professor Banner, was that his name?
Yes, Doctor.
Dr. Banner.
Dr. David Banner.
Becomes, he's doing experiments and becomes... You must have seen The Incredible Hulk. Does experiments, and then every time he gets angry, he turns into this green monster. And all his clothes rip.
Yes.
But what's that phrase that he uses? And I think that's a lovely phrase. I've often used it on people as a joke.
Well, it's when he's being...
Don't make me angry.
Okay. Well, do you want me to say it?
I thought you were going to say it.
I was going to say it. What? I don't know.
He's talking to somebody. He knows if he gets angry, he turns into this monster.
I have no idea what your train of thought is at the moment.
So if somebody makes him angry and he's, hasn't turned into the monster, but he might do, he says that phrase. Go on, you say it.
Yes. Well, he's talking to a reporter from the local newspaper who is being very nosy, trying to find out all about it. He says, "Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like it if I'm angry, or you wouldn't like it if I get angry, or you would be really upset if I lost my temper because my clothes would rip, my trousers would fly off." What I want to know is what happens to the Incredible Hulk's underpants, because for some reason,
yes,
I don't know why, his underpants never fly off.
No, they always stay on.
His trousers rip, but how come the Incredible Hulk has such a thin waist? Because if he grows, then surely his trousers will completely rip and come off. So basically, the Incredible Hulk would be left completely naked, running around, going, "Arr, me angry, you can see my green willy." You see, so, yeah, but then a moment later you see David Banner and all of his clothes are okay again. He's wearing his trousers.
Aren't they ripped? No.
Yes, but they fit his waist.
Yes, I know, it's ridiculous. Bogdan, yes, a furious person has been or become infuriated. Yes, yes, exactly. You've used those two words correctly.
I'm now picturing, in my mind, I'm picturing a naked Hulk.
Oh, Megan. Oh, Mega. Sorry, not Megan. I'm thinking of... well, it's very close to Megan. Mega. You've got a name that's very close to a certain... Is she a princess?
Well, you're telling me, aren't you?
I don't know. Married to Harry, who the press over here are obsessed with, much to our annoyance. It irritates me and annoys me that the British press are obsessed with royalty, particularly with Meghan and Harry. But anyway, Meghan...
Well, they're ex-royalty. They're not
true.
They're not royalty, so she's not a princess. She's just normal, common Meghan. And Harry...
Haven't they retained some status?
No, they can't be. They can't use their royal titles because they've left the royal family.
Good. Serves them right. Mr. Duncan is a cutie pie. How can you get irritated by him? I'll tell you, it's very easy.
I know. How can you get angry by this face?
Well, don't forget, what you're seeing here is not the normal Mr. Duncan.
It is?
Everybody behaves differently. Everybody has a public face and a private face.
Can I just say, this is exactly what I'm like normally. I mean, if anyone has a public face, it's this guy. You want to see him when he's not on.
Oh, yes, that's it. I'm totally different off from away from here.
Yeah.
As soon as that camera's off, I become a miserable, bitter, twisted person.
Yes, it's true. Finally.
You think I'm joking?
Finally.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, I have my demons. If you say you have your demons, it means you have voices in your head telling you to do things.
What?
And I'm joking. No, but we all have that sort of inner monologue, that inner dialogue that can make you go over things that happened in the past that probably you should have long forgotten about.
You know, you've already said this today.
I know, yes.
I think you might also be a bit senile.
Yes. Well, Mega, yes, I'm sorry, but yeah.
What?
carrots, onions. I don't know what people are talking about here.
This is the recipe for a meal.
Oh, hutspot. Hutspot.
Yes.
Smoked sausage. Oh, I like the sound of that.
It sounds like a meal. It sounds like a type of meal.
I've said this before, but we have to go on a world tour, Mr.
Yeah,
Duncan.
well, we're not doing it just
and
yet.
sample everybody's cooking.
Okay, Steve, some more angry words. Oh, for goodness sake. This is taking so long.
Incensed.
Incensed. Something you hear might make you suddenly angry. You become incensed. A lot of people go onto the internet and they like to write how incensed they are. Oh, I can't believe Mr. Duncan said that on his live lesson. And I'm so incensed by his behaviour. How could he say such a thing? Why is he so obsessed with pooping and also the Incredible Hulk's Green Willy? Why?
I wonder if that comes from, because if you've got sense, it means that you...
It's not the same spelling.
Okay, so if you're incensed, it means you're just uncontrollably annoyed.
Yes,
Uncontrollably. You have to do something to get that out of you.
that's it.
You might write something. I'm incensed
Yes.
over what that person said to me at work today.
Yes, your anger peaks very quickly.
Yes.
Like that, like the Incredible Hulk. Here's another one, Steve.
Oh, right. Okay.
Riled.
Yes, a Dutch meal. You know, I've said it. I'll say it again. I've already said it today. We're going on a world tour,
Yes.
and we're going to go to. We're visiting all of you. I'm sorry, in every country, and you're going to cook us your beautiful dishes that you keep telling us about.
Yes. I think we will go around the world and we will just eat so much food that we'll come back and the plane will not be able to take off because of our big fat bodies. I think so.
Thank you, chauvinist.
Okay, Steve.
Thank you very much.
That's
Okay, so Inigo. I did cover this earlier. Sorry if you weren't here. But yes, I've got a cold, a throat infection, hence my voice sounding rather different.
okay. Can I do some more words for anger?
Yeah, go on.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, you said that I should be teaching more words, and today I'm trying to do that. Here's another one. Oh, this is one that I think this one really does suit Mr. Steve. Irate.
What happened to the last word?
Well, we showed that.
Oh, did we talk about it?
Riled.
We didn't talk about
You're
it.
riled. Well, I was trying to.
Well, go on then.
Right. Well, we've gone past that now.
If you're riled, it means that someone said something that sort of excited you in a way.
Yeah.
Exciting you into anger. They're riling you.
Yeah.
They're saying something. They might be goading you, saying something to you to try and make you angry.
Yes.
Deliberately. They're riling you. They're deliberately saying things to make you angry.
Yes. Well, you become. I suppose the word that we use now is triggered.
Yes.
So riled is an old-fashioned word. I think nowadays people use the word triggered. You are triggered by something. Here's another one. Irate. You become angry. You become furious. You become irate. You are fuming, Mr. Steve. Fuming.
Well, yes. What was the last word? Irate.
Yes.
Yes.
So we've just.
Well, I like to try and use those in a sentence.
I just did.
Oh right. Okay.
I don't know.
I was looking at the live stream.
Okay.
Yes. The crowd became irate. That could be a group of people, not just
Yes. Fuming.
Fuming.
Fuming. So we're doing this one now. This is now. We're doing this one now. Fuming. You are angry. You are feeling angry. You are fuming. You might also be showing your anger as well. I'm fuming.
That gives the impression that you've got very hot. And you're giving off fumes, you're giving off vapour, you're giving off something, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're getting so hot and angry that you can almost visibly see sort of heat coming off you, fumes. I think there's where that comes from.
Yes.
I'm fuming with rage.
That's it. Next one. Very similar, Steve, the next one. Seething.
Seething.
Seething. Again,
Yes.
you're keeping something that's making you angry. You are thinking about it. So this is something you do. I think this is suitable for Mr. Steve.
Yes, the anger, you're keeping it in. You're not expressing the anger. If you're seething, it means the expression on your face, you'll know that they're holding back, that they're really angry inside, and they're just waiting for that moment to explode.
Okay.
Seething with rage.
I really do like the passion that Mr. Steve is showing today. He's really putting himself...
You could seethe for a long time, couldn't you? Hours, you could seethe for a long... Maybe, yes. You found out, maybe your partner's gone to work and you found out that they've done something that's really made you angry, and you're seething all day, waiting for them to come back, and then you just explode.
Really?
Or maybe you're the sort of person that... what's that phrase when you passive submissive behaviour, where instead of expressing that rage, you just sort of do odd things and you don't say anything. You know, the passive submissive way of reacting.
No, I think you mean passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive, yes, that's it. Passive aggressive.
Passive submissive is the opposite.
That's the passive aggressive. That's it. You might say, no. You know, you might be.
What?
You might not. You might just say odd things. You might think, what's the matter?
No,
Nothing. Nothing's the matter. Nothing.
No, passive aggressive is when quite often you use silence
Yes.
or passive behaviour as a weapon.
Yes.
So yeah. So you won't be angry.
You try to punish people by not talking to them or behaving in a way that annoys them, but
Yes.
you're not telling them exactly.
But you're not
what it
showing
is.
your anger.
That's me. I'm passive aggressive. That's me all over.
Oh yeah, you seem to be everything. You're
Foam at the mouth.
you're
There's
like-
a good one.
You're like a haunted house. You are.
Tomek says, I'll be fuming if you keep ignoring my messages. I don't ignore your messages. And yes, we can't just say everything. We will come to the Netherlands and you can cook us that lovely stew.
Yes.
Uh,
Well, we've been there. Do you remember, Steve?
I know, but no, I meant again. We didn't
Oh,
have
yes.
that. Well, I thought I was going to South America first, but of course a certain person doesn't come on anymore.
Okay, Steve.
Brazil. So, Tomek, you could be first on the list.
Steve,
Yes.
you are making me angry. Livid. You are livid. Again, angry. You are livid. You suddenly go from calm to angry very quickly. You become livid. It's almost like the peak of your anger.
Yes.
You are livid.
I wonder where that comes from. Livid.
I thought you were going to tell us, Steve.
Yes, good use of the word. Foam at the mouth.
Yes. Well, we'll come to that in a moment.
Inarchy, yes. You can become so angry you foam at the mouth.
Yes.
Like somebody that's got rabies.
Yes. Well, there is a picture of you see, on today's thumbnail with all foam coming out of your mouth.
Steam coming out of my ears.
Here's a good one. I like this one, Steve. Incandescent.
That's quite an old-fashioned phrase, isn't it? Word.
Is it from the 1970s? Is it?
Incandescent with rage.
It means you are so angry you are actually glowing.
Glowing.
Yes. It's almost like there is heat coming off you, and it's almost as if you are going to burst into flames. You are so...
Yes, there used to be gas lights. They used to, if you heat up, gas lights used to heat up like a ceramic covering, and they used to glow incandescent. It means they're glowing because of the heat. Something's heated up and it glows.
Anything that glows.
So yes, it's saying you're so hot, you're glowing with anger. All these, it's making me angry thinking about it. I'm thinking about all the things, all the people that have done things against me in the past, and how I want to get revenge on them all.
Okay, Steve.
I'm holding all this anger in, Mr. Duncan. One day it'll all boil over. There we go.
You are coming across as a bit strange today, by the way.
I'm just pretending.
I'm not sure. That's the problem. I'm not sure if you are. So Incandescent. I tell you, there used to be a TV show that I used to watch a lot, a cartoon called Regular Show. I know that Steve hasn't heard of it, but there was a character on there, and his name was Benson, and he was actually a gumball machine. But whenever he got angry, the gumballs inside his head would turn red. They would become red, and it always fascinated me how that happened. How this gumball machine that also had life and a personality could also get angry, and his little gumballs inside would become red. That's it.
Lewis is here.
Oh, hello, Lewis.
Hello, Lewis.
We heard that you are now in Brazil.
Somebody said you were in Brazil. Somebody else said, but yes, we didn't expect you today, so welcome.
Welcome, Lewis.
Oh, lovely to see you. And we're furious, angry, livid, with rage. That's what we are today. If you don't know, we're talking about words connected with
Steve,
being angry.
can you just pause for a moment? I just want to do something.
Go on.
Luis Mendez is here today. That's it. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that. It's very special, you see. Very special indeed. So to be incandescent means you are glowing. You might also be up in arms. Up in arms means you are outraged. You are fuming. You are so shocked by what you've heard or what you've seen. You are up in arms. People are angry.
Tsutika says, what does short fuse mean?
A person who has a short fuse will lose their temper easily. So
Yes.
your fuse is short. It's a little bit like lighting a fuse.
On some dynamite.
Yes. So the fuse is very short, which means it will explode quickly.
Yes.
So a person who loses their temper quickly has a short fuse.
And we all know people like that.
We do.
No, Mr. Duncan doesn't lose his temper.
I don't have a short fuse.
no.
I am so patient. I
have when it comes to work at the moment.
I think it's all the years of teaching. You have to have patience if you are a teacher. The first thing you have to have. A lot of people say, Mr. Duncan, what do you need to be a teacher? My first one is you have to have a very long fuse. You must not lose your temper easily.
Oh, right. Adi says that we might get snow next week. That is true. We may get snow in the UK next week.
But
we may well do.
But unfortunately, it's only in Scotland.
Yes, Stirling. Yes,
Yes.
which is in Scotland.
That's it.
So yes, I think you will.
So yes, there will be snow, but it will be in Scotland, not here.
A lovely thing to say. Lewis said, "Hi, Mr. Duncan. I'm late, but my heart is always with you and all my classmates."
Thank you very much. Well, we were told that you were in Brazil now. I'm not sure if that's true, but
Hello, Oim Oim.
hello to you as well, Steve.
We say hello to everyone.
Steve, you see red. If you see red, well, you can see lots of red behind us. Look at that. So that behind us now is the sunset. The
Lovely.
sun is now about to set, and you can see. Let's have a look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's have another look, another view. Look at that. That is stunning. So there it is.
What a lovely sunset.
The view right now.
Because, of course, the sun is setting very early here now in the UK.
The days are shorter. So if you see red, it means you suddenly become blinded.
And another phrase connected to that is, and the red, of course, is referring to the colour of blood. You can have the red mist. You can have a red mist moment. They explained that particularly on the roads, if you have a red mist moment, it means you just instantly turn angry all rational thinking has switched off, and you jump from nothing straight to anger.
Okay, Steve.
A red mist moment.
Got to move on.
Somebody that suddenly loses their temper.
You might be beside yourself with anger.
Yeah.
Anger. You are so angry, you are beside yourself. It means you lose control. It's almost like you leave your own body and now you are floating above yourself. You are so angry. You are beside yourself. It's a great expression.
So many expressions connected with
Yes.
anger.
Well, that's right. There's about 50. You blow your top. If you blow your top, you lose your temper suddenly. You start shouting, you scream, maybe you hit someone. You blow your top.
A lot of these phrases are, they're way above, they're way above anger in intensity.
That's it. You feel outraged. We had that earlier in my video, you see. We had the word outrage earlier on. So to be outraged, to hear something that makes you angry, quite often these days people become angry and outraged, and then they will go to Twitter and write down all of the reasons why they feel angry about that particular thing. So outrage is a noun. It describes the feeling of anger caused by something. You might lose your temper. So I think this is a good one. You lose your temper. You are relaxed. You are cool. You have control. But then suddenly you lose your temper.
Which must be short for temperament, do you think?
Well, to have temper is to have control. So temper means to have control of something. So to lose your temper is to lose control. It is actually the statement of losing control of your emotions. You become so outraged, you lose your temper, or you have lost your temper. You go mad at someone. If you go mad at someone, it means you are angry towards a particular person. You lose your cool. You lose your cool. It means you were calm, but suddenly you lose your cool. You start to become angry.
And you might say things, you might do things. That's not necessarily meaning you're probably becoming angry. Here's one we've had from Raphael. Keep your shirt on.
Yes.
That's a good one.
If you tell someone to keep their shirt on, you are asking them to remain calm.
Calm down. Keep your shirt on, because
Don't get angry.
when people want to fight, we often see this. They take their shirts off. They're going to fight. It means they're serious. So you say, "Oh, keep your shirt on. I didn't mean it. Only a joke. Keep your shirt on." In other words, don't start to get angry. You see, you've said something to somebody, maybe as a joke, and they've started to sort of say things back to you, and you know you've annoyed them, irritated them. So you might say, "Oh, sorry, keep your shirt on."
Yes. Don't lose your temper. Don't get
Yes.
angry with me. Keep your shirt on. Here's another one, Steve.
But there isn't one, took your shirt off. There isn't the opposite of that.
No, you can lose your shirt,
You can lose your shirt, yes. But
which means to lose a large amount of money.
Yes.
You freak out. This is what Steve does. I think if I had to describe Mr. Steve becoming angry, I would say that sometimes he will freak out. He will become really angry. Or we might say that you go into a rage.
Yes.
So rage, once again, is a word that expresses extreme anger. You can't control yourself. Yes?
Here's another one. You go nuts.
Yes.
Thank you, Valentin, for that.
You lose control of your emotions.
Nuts!
You go nuts. You go crazy.
You do things that you normally wouldn't do, expressing anger.
Here's another one. You might find yourself
Thank you, Mr. Duncan.
You are foaming at the mouth.
Didn't know you were going to do that. You've obviously added that in. What are you doing, Mr. Duncan? Oh, I see. Yeah.
So there is Mr. Steve foaming at the mouth.
Keep your shirt on. Calm down.
I like that one. I really like that one.
Yes, because if you've got rabies, you foam at the mouth.
Yes.
And it's saying that you've become so angry
Yes.
that you're foaming
Yes.
with anger.
Yes.
Cool down, Saturino. Yes, there's a good one. Cool down.
So your temper, here we go, Steve. You mentioned temper a few moments ago. Your temper is your emotional control. So you control your feelings and your emotions. You have your temper. But you can also lose your temper, which is to lose control.
Did I just see smoke going past
I don't know, Steve.
in the background?
I'm just concentrating on what's happening on
That'll
the...
make me angry.
So if you lose your temper, you get angry. If you keep your temper, it means you stay calm. So you keep your temper, it means you stay calm. You lose your temper, it means you get angry. You become angry. Quite a few words when you think about it, Steve.
That is a lot of words, Mr. Duncan, connected with anger.
That is a lot of words that you can use.
Just shows you if there are a lot of words connected with a subject, then it's a common thing, and people have developed different words over the years to talk about that particular thing, which is anger. Control yourself. That's a good one, Mohammed, yes.
Yes, if you want a person to stop being angry. So I suppose there are some good phrases we could use. Calm down, please. Please, just calm down. I often have to say to Mr. Steve, Mr. Steve, please calm down. Just calm down. Take a deep breath. Breathe in. Things are not as bad as they seem.
What can we do to stop ourselves becoming angry, or to, because as Christina said earlier on, see, I don't forget what people say. I'm always looking, taking note. Christina said that if you control your anger or suppress your anger, it can make you ill.
Yes.
So I think sometimes it's healthy, as long as you don't. It's healthy to tell people, I think, if they've annoyed you. That's something I'm very bad at. Some people would do things, not you, I always tell you. Neighbours, for example.
Yes.
If they've annoyed me, or friends, I won't say anything at the time. It'll stew inside me. There's a good phrase.
So you will be left seething.
Seething, stewing. If something's stewing, going back to Tomek's stew that he's making right at this moment.
Okay.
If something's stewing, it means it's cooking slowly, simmering, boiling away, ready to explode maybe. If something's, I stew over things.
Yes.
You know, they go over in my mind. How can I get them back? What can I say? How dare they say that to me?
Okay, Steve.
And I think that does make you ill over a long period of time, because you're releasing stress hormones.
Yes.
Because I've read, if you are imagining things happening, stressful events happening, even if you're just imagining them in your mind, your body thinks that they're actually happening.
Well, that's what anxiety is.
And thus releases
Yes.
adrenaline and cortisol, and makes you stressed and causes health problems
Yes.
over the long term.
Okay. You're making me feel anxious just...
So yes, I think sometimes you need to tell people sometimes if they've annoyed you.
Yes.
But you do it in a calm way.
Don't keep it in.
Sorry, can I just tell you, you've annoyed me. I'm going to tell you, you've annoyed me because you keep lighting those fires, and it's annoying. I'm just going to tell you.
Yes.
Of course, you don't know how that other person's going to react, which, sometimes keeping the peace is the best thing. But,
Okay, Steve.
take a few breaths.
Yes, please, Steve. I think you should you should actually do that right now.
Well, that's why, meditation has become very popular, particularly since the lockdown, because people are becoming angry and they need a way to calm themselves down. And that is one way. We ought to talk about, maybe we haven't got time today.
Well, no, we haven't. We've got 2 minutes.
Ways to calm yourself down.
I don't think we can talk about the whole world of meditation in 2 minutes, to be honest with you.
Mindfulness, that's
Yes.
become very popular now,
Anyway,
hasn't it?
Steve.
Yes.
Anyway, we are coming towards the end of today's live stream. Steve, by the way, was in the garden earlier.
Was I?
Steve, just stay with me.
Yes, I'm
Stay
here.
up here where I am, where my face is. Please.
I'm just looking at the live chat.
Yes, well, we're going in a second. There won't be a live chat because we'll be off. Steve was outside earlier doing a little bit of work in the garden.
Well, someone's got to do it.
And Steve was trimming the dahlia. It's time to put the dahlia to bed. So Steve cut the remaining flowers from our lovely purple dahlia. And there you can see Mr. Steve behind the cuttings, putting the rest of the dahlia into his wheelbarrow.
Well, I mean, it's amazing that dahlia in November is still producing flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, normally that should have been at the beginning of October. That should have been cut down and dried out. And I don't look very happy there, Mr. Duncan. I don't like you filming me when I don't.
Well, you're busy.
I don't look very happy.
Well, you're not.
So there are some dahlia flowers
There you
left over.
That's what Steve looks like normally.
You caught me unawares.
Yes.
Unawares. I didn't know that you were.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm trying to explain what you're doing. So there was the... It's gone now.
Yeah, so that was the chopped down dahlia. So what I did after that is I took all the soil off from around the plant and I'm putting it into and I'm drying it out so that then when the summer comes,
Yes.
the spring, I can replant it.
Because if you leave it outside, it will die. It will be destroyed. It will rot.
They don't like the frost.
No.
Dahlias do not like the frost.
So that's what Mr. Steve is doing. He's putting the dahlia to bed, basically. It's going for its winter hibernation.
Yes. Yeah, even though I've got a cold, I'm still out there, Mr. Duncan, working in the garden. Yes. Yes, if you turn crimson. Crimson, if you turn crimson. Somebody gets very angry, Jimmy. Thank you for that. Yes, if you turn crimson, it means that the blood has gone into your face. And it's a sign that you're getting angry and enraged, a bit like the red mist or seeing red. When people become angry, they go red in the face because all the blood, what's happening is the adrenaline in your body is preparing you for a fight.
Yes.
And all the blood is pumping through your body.
That's it.
I get these little veins in the side of my forehead that start to pulsate.
Yes, they inflate like the inner tube of a tyre. So the sun has set, Steve?
The sun has set, it is. It's gone very dark outside.
Yes, well, the sun's gone.
Yeah, I know.
The sun has set.
And go on.
And now the sun is setting on today's live stream, is what I was about to say.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
But I thought I'd let you do it as it's your show.
That's very poetic for you.
The sun is setting, it means it's coming to an end.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one, yes. You might actually be as cool as a cucumber. I like that one, yes. We had that one mentioned earlier. Someone mentioned that one. Can we say as cool as a cucumber? Yes, you can. A person can be as cool as a cucumber. I'm sure I've got it somewhere. Let me just find it.
Yes.
There it is. As cool as a cucumber. A person who always stays calm and relaxed.
And that's how we want to end today's live stream.
I like that.
We're all as cool as a cucumber.
Yes.
We've been enraged and now we're calm.
Yes.
I have to stay calm because your body can't recover from an illness if you're got inner turmoil going on.
Yes. If there are thousands of little viruses running around your body, doing all sorts of unmentionable things.
Thank you, Mega.
Thank you very much. That's it. Steve, it's time to go.
It's time to go. Lovely to be here, Mr. Duncan. I couldn't say that last week, but I am saying it this week.
It's much better than last week.
It is. So nice to be here, nice to be back, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week, hopefully fully recovered.
Shall I fade you off, Mr. Steve?
Go on.
Okay then. Oh, look at that outside. It's really going dark now.
Bye.
And there was Mr. Steve. He's gone. And I will also go as well. I think we are going to have a cup of tea and maybe a biscuit as well. So there it is. You can see the sun has set. It's getting dark now. There is the view from my studio window. And yes, I'm not kidding you. I'm not lying. Yes, that is it. That is the view now. It is getting dark already, and it's only just after 4 o'clock. Thank you for your company. I am back with you on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time. I will be with you on Wednesday. This Wednesday, I'm with you. And then we have some new exciting lessons. I am remaking some of my old lessons, and also I will be making some new ones as well. I am going now. I'm going to open my package very carefully, almost as if I'm handling a bomb. I think so. Thank you for your company. It's been lovely spending time with you today. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. You can watch this again later with captions as well. I hope you have had a good time here today. Thank you for your company. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your patience as well. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. See you on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time, and we will do this again. Does that sound like a good idea? I think it does. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.